So when we're thinking of building a sustainable teaching career, here's just a few things that we can think about. Some of it is, you already know some of this, but I think it's nice to have a reminder as you set out to do this amazing thing. So 4 things for this sustainable career. And when I say sustainable teaching career, I mean that this is how you're making your money teaching dance, right? First and foremost, networking. You have to network. And we've already talked about it. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to reach out to people. I don't even know where to start. The best place to start, is putting yourself in the room with the people you want to work with. So that's going to conferences, going to conventions, going to competitions, going to doing the virtual events, going to the places that are going to put you in the room with the people that you want to work with. And then the next best place to start is send an email. Start a relationship, start a conversation, send an email to someone that you want to work with. Hey, I'm Kathy. I would love to come teach at your studio. I've been following your work for a while. I see, your students on Instagram, whatever, and I'm just so impressed. I would absolutely be honored to come and hopefully inspire your students and work with you moving forward. So I want you to remember that your net worth is your network. So the people that you know, I see Julie like shaking her head, right? The people that you know and those relationships that you build are going to create so many more opportunities for you than if you just sit in a room and try to email people on your own. The more people that you build these relationships with, you're going to start getting those little like, oh, well, so-and-so referred you to me. Oh, I heard about your teaching through Abby's studio, or, things like that. People aren't going to magically find you. Like you don't just randomly get an email it doesn't just magically happen. You have to put yourself into those rooms. You have to put yourself with those people. Joining the memberships, like you being a member of DanceBiz Monthly is you're putting yourself in the room with people who could potentially get you a job. Because, Abby might be talking to another studio owner and go, oh yeah, I remember Jill just recently sold her studio and she's doing more freelance work now. And she really is interested in choreographing. So let me connect you with Jill. You're putting yourself in a room with people who want to see you succeed. And that is how you move yourself forward in building the sustainable career. You're not going to have a sustainable career if you try to work in a silo and you try to be like the loner standing in the corner, and you can't be the lone wolf. You have to have your wolf pack behind you. You have to have the people around you that are helping. I'm going to pause real quick just to read Julie's small win is getting new headshots and dance shots done. Oh, don't you feel amazing when you do that photo shoot? Yes. And then focus for the month, finishing yoga cert. Love that. Yes. And resetting after my return to the US. You'll be on a plane soon. Oh, yes, Julie. We'll chat about that. Awesome. So we're going to work on that networking. We're going to put ourselves in the rooms with the people and all the stuff. Then you have to promote yourself, Jill. You have to promote yourself. You have to put yourself out there. Social media, website, email marketing, all of that. I can go on and on about this. I know social media is really annoying. I want you to have fun with it, especially if you are trying to build this sustainable career of being a teacher. You kind of have to put yourself out there and do these things. So that doesn't mean you have to post every day. You don't have to post every day. You don't have to post everything. You don't have to be that person who's like, when you wake up in the morning, like, hey, you don't have to, if that's not who you are, you don't have to do that. There's no really rules. And you'll see like social media influencers and gurus will tell you like, oh, you have to do that. You don't have to do anything. You have to do what works for you. That's what you have to do. Right. So promote it. But social media, I can't even count the number of jobs that I've booked through social media, through a random Facebook message, a random DM on Instagram, like, hey, I would love to have you come teach my students, or, hey, I heard you're doing this, but whatever. Again, going back to the networking, so-and-so referred me to you, and then they find me on social media, and it's a full circle. It seems like obvious that you have to market yourselves, but a lot of freelance teachers let this slide. And when you're letting this slide, you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you're not promoting. Like there are so many opportunities if you just put yourself out there. And your customers, they don't know what they don't know. Like, again, people aren't just going to magically find you. And you can't expect to just stay booked consistently if you're not promoting yourself. So a little bit of Googling on, self-promotion of a solopreneur, things like that. And you can find some good tips. But even just having, in your DanceBiz dashboard, I taught you how to make a website landing page that's completely free on Canva. So if you just need like a one page, like a landing page of like, hey, go here. It's not going to have a pretty like kathyking.com website, but you can shorten the website on Bitly, and you can create just a nice, beautiful landing page for yourself. Or if you want to just invest, it's so cheap to have a website. Just look at different options. There's WordPress, there's Wix, there's GoDaddy, there is endless. There are so many ways to have a website. I would definitely suggest, especially if you're venturing out into freelance teaching, to at least have a landing page if you're not super active on social media. Now, if you want to be active on social, it's easy to just say, hey, go find my Instagram page. You're going to see lots of videos of my class. You're going to, see my bio, everything like that. But if you're not super active on social, I would encourage you to have a website that you keep updated, has an easy way for people to contact you, an easy way for them to see videos and photos and read your resume, read your bio, all of that. And then if you also, it's in the DanceBiz dashboard, but it's also on my blog, just a little advice and guidance on if you hate talking about yourself, you got to get over it. You got to get over that. You got to talk about, you need to love on yourself a little. It doesn't make you cocky. It doesn't make you arrogant. You're allowed to talk about the things that you're really good at, and promote yourself. It's not braggy. It's all good. It's part of business, y'all. And then also the email marketing too. So if you can start building an email list, and then whether you're just using your Gmail or you use something like, if you have a website through Wix, you can set up an email marketing through that. You could get like MailChimp or Constant Contact or something. If you really want to, I'm looking at any of you who really want to have this sustainable teaching career where this is what you do for a living. Having email marketing is going to be really great, because it's an easy, you own their email address for you to be able to contact them whenever you need to, send them marketing stuff, and things like that. You could, do a newsletter, or just promote like, hey, my dates are open, book me, whatever. But email marketing is awesome. And you can start, building your list using your social media. Again, it's all full circle. So we're going to market ourselves. Make booking with you super easy. Again, if you want to be sustainable, the back and forth emails of, I'm available on this day and time and this day and time. And then, oh, well, I'm available on this. Make it as easy as possible, right? If you can use like a booking app, I've talked about Calendly a few times, super user-friendly, super easy, syncs up with your calendar, all of that. If you can use something like that, or if you can just say, I'm available on these days, let's say you're going to do a social post. You can put, hey, studios, I have availability in July. Every weekend in July is open for me. I'm ready to come work at your studio. Like, as specific and easy and clear as possible to make it easy to book with you. Make sure that if you go do a job, so I'm going to go teach at Julie's studio. I'm teaching a whole weekend of classes. And then when I leave, I'm going to follow up with Julie. I think that's actually my next slide. We're going to follow up. I'm going to say, thank you so much for letting me come to your studio. I absolutely loved working with your kids. And then I'm going to try to rebook as soon as possible. If it's someone that you know well, like for example, when Jill was running her studio, I've taught at Jill's studio a couple of times. Jill's my friend. I know that Jill's going to have me back again the next year. I don't necessarily have to follow up with Jill right away. Like, hey, I'd love to get some dates on the calendar, because I know where Jill lives. I can find her and track her down and say, girl, give me some classes. If it's a studio I don't have as close of a relationship with, I'm going to follow up right away. And I'm going to say, hey, I would love to come back in a couple of months to see how the kids are doing. Or let's say I set some choreography on them. Hey, would you like to go ahead right now? We can schedule like a Zoom session where I can clean up their dance with them in a few weeks and just see how they're doing. Like, trying to get something on the calendar as soon as possible. Or if that's not appropriate, like, you've got to feel it out, right? If that's not appropriate, if it's like a once a year thing or whatever, you make sure you let them know, like, I'd love to come back next summer, teach at your summer intensive, can you put me down, whatever. If that's not appropriate, when you send them your follow-up email, so you're going to email them after maybe the next day or maybe that same night, like you get home, hey, thank you so much, I had a great time. Link them to your Facebook page and ask them to write a quick review, or ask them to reply to your email with a brief testimonial. That's not being pushy. I know, again, we might feel a little uncomfortable, like asking for feedback on yourself, but it's normal business practice. Think about how many times you've bought a pair of leggings on a website, and then you'll get an email that's like, please rate your experience with us, or, leave us a review. Did you like the leggings? Go to our website, it's common business practice. So definitely link them to your social medias or anywhere where they can leave a review for you. Or if you don't have, let's say you don't have a Facebook page for your business, that's fine. If that's not what you want, I'm a full advocate of like, if you hate Facebook, you love Instagram, like stick to Instagram. If Instagram's not working for you, Facebook's doing great, stick to Facebook. Like whatever works for you, do that. So if you don't have a page to link them to, ask them like, hey, if you wouldn't mind, could you please just reply to this email with a brief testimonial of having me at your studio? That is priceless. What that does is when you have those testimonials, it builds what we call social trust. When you have social trust, it's more likely that people are going to continue hiring you based on word of mouth or referrals, because they can go to your Facebook page, they can go to your website, and they see all these testimonials. And they're like, oh, this person actually has done stuff. They're not just a nobody. You can also, don't ever hesitate to say, please feel free to pass along any other studios you think I should contact, or like just directly asking for a referral. Do you know of any other studios that you think would like my class? Or let's say you go and you set a solo on a kid at a studio. Say, hey, do you have any other students here? Do you think they would like my choreography? I'd love to set some more dances. That's a great way to make a little more income, and it just builds that relationship some more. So when you have these 4 things, when you're constantly networking, like networking never ends. You're constantly networking. You're constantly marketing yourself. You're making it super easy for people to book with you. And then you're nurturing those relationships by following up, and like you're adding value to their experience. When I say add value, that's like the Zoom call to clean up a dance, or you send them a bottle of wine, or what. I'll bring Jill wine often. And chocolate and all the things, right? You write the handwritten thing, like you add the value. Oh, another great tip for, especially, my freelance teachers, when you go and teach, let's say you do a night of master classes, follow up and send them the names of the songs, or like link them to the songs. Cause the kids love that. Cause then they're like, oh, I learned this dance from Kathy. Now I can practice it. Or cause especially if you use kind of like, the deep tracks, you'd use the hidden stuff, send them the music. They love that stuff. It's super fun. But when you do all 4 of these things, that is the secret sauce to like building this successful career that you want to have, of actually making it a full-time job, or a semi full-time, however you want to do it. If you price yourself right, you're not going to be teaching yourself into the ground. You're not going to be getting burnt out, because you don't have to teach 7 days a week. If 21-year-old Kathy could only hear that, right? Like you don't have to teach 7 days a week if you price yourself right. And you can give some studios really, really great deals by upcharging other studios that can pay the fee. Cause you're going to have some studios that can't afford the higher fees, but you're going to have some that are like, they'll pay you through the roof with no questions asked, because, it's just in their studio culture to pay money like that. So you start to figure that out along the way as you build those relationships.